The best way of procuring calories out in this environment is going to be harvesting animals. They are the most calorie dense nutrient source out here. Plants are great. There's a lot of great plants. There's good tubers. Tubers are fantastic. There's carbohydrates. And having just a pure carnivore diet can be an issue when you're dealing with low body fat content and rabbits, that kind of thing. But in the short term, medium term, we're gonna need some animals. And the best way to do that is by expending as few calories as possible. And that's gonna be through traps and snares. So I've got the snare wire here, but when you pull it out, it gets these kinks in it. So I'm gonna pull out about 2 feet, and I need to get rid of these kinks. So the best way of doing that is isolating a piece of this, twisting a circle, doing an extra twist on it, and then I have these pulling sticks that I made earlier, where you wrap the snare wire around it 2 or 3 times on either side of this loop that you made. You wrap the snare on this side 3 or 4 times. Now I use these pulling sticks to tighten ropes or tighten lines, but right now I'm going to use them to do a shock load on that little loop, and it snaps right off, no problem, leaving me with my main part still wrapped around the stick so I can't lose it easily. Stash that in my shelter, and then I can unwrap my stick on this side to expose my wire. So now my wire's separated. To make it smoother, I'm gonna run it over a stick like this and pull it back and forth. Unfortunately, can't do that with 2 hands, so I'm gonna use a stick on my shelter and run this back and forth like this. And you're left with this nice, smooth, easily bent loop that you can manipulate. Fire fell over, let me take care of that. Getting to the point where that's going to be a different fire lay soon. Starting to transform into a log cabin or a pyramid. All right, now I have a nice smooth piece of snare wire, which is what I need. And I'm going to bend over about 3 inches of this. Make a little fish, and then you're going to twist that fish 8 or 9 times until this thing's about the size of your pinky nail. A little further, about the size of your pinky nail. I'm going to flatten that oval, give it another twist so it looks like a little snowman. I don't know if you can see that. A little 2-piece snowman, not a 3-piece snowman. It's a lazy snowman. And we're going to bend that over, creating a double loop. This double loop binds up the other pieces it goes through. All right. So I've got plenty of extra wire here that I can just keep twisting it up. And it's reinforcing that end piece here and ensuring that the thing does not come undone. You don't want to use up all of your tail here. This tail needs to be about 3/4 of an inch long when you're done. I could have done a lot less on the twist, honestly. I'm going to straighten this 3/4 of an inch spike, and that's pokey. Especially if it pokes through and hits you in the neck, you're going to be a little startled. A squirrel or a rabbit, this is shaping up more into a rabbit snare because of the length of my twist here. I'm just going to bend this one more time with my finger, make my loop, and then push it through the double loop. And the thing I need to make sure now is that this slides easily on itself. Sometimes you gotta shrink it down kind of small and let it spring back. Angle this circle so that it slides easily. This should be frictionless. And a squirrel is going to be just slightly larger than a golf ball for its head size. We're going to bring it down around there, 2.5 inches or so. I'm going to put this spike facing directly into the center. They're the highest chance of poking the neck. Spike's still a little bit long. I'm going to do one more loop. There you go. So snare, head goes through, this catches a little bit, it starts poking, and I've seen it go past the shoulders too and poke them in the stomach, and then they thrash around and it tightens down on them. But we don't want them to be tied off to a hard fixed object where they're jerking around and snapping this wire in the same way that we snap the wire. So we're going to tie this off to a decent sized drag stick. Something that a squirrel could drag, but not very far, so you can easily find it. And it gives a little bit back, gives a little bit of that force back to the wires and elongates the moment of inertia. That's what's happening. So we're just gonna put it on there and twist this. Now this stake that I got right here, this drag stick, is just a leftover piece of one of the stakes, which was a leftover piece of one of the trees that I used for these boughs, which was a leftover piece of one of the trees trunks that I used to build my shelter. So I'm still using the same stuff over and over again. There's a nice little twist on that guy, and you're good to go. Now we have a snare, squirrel-sized snare on a drag stick. We need to go out here, find some midden, find some trails where the squirrels have been running around. It's real easy this time of year. Place this on there, make sure it's lined up for ease of access. And remember, squirrels take the easiest route. So when they take that route, we've already identified it because they're gonna be running similar routes most days. Not as repetitive as rabbits in the Arctic. We set 15 snares one time in the Arctic and we got 12 rabbits in one night. 12 out of 15 is an insane ratio for snares. The nomenclature for this, the books and the literature, not nomenclature, the literature says you should get 1 animal per 15 snares. But I find that it depends on snare placement, quality of build, and region. Because there's times where, like I said, we got 12 out of 15, and there's times where I'll put out 40 snares and get nothing. So the ratio is highly dependent on your scenario and your skill level. All right, that's it for building snares.